back to another cooking lesson. So as you can see, I'm pretty cozy here in my sweatshirt. It's a nice day for soup. So we're going to go and teach you how to make homemade soup. It's something that we taught already once at Next Step, but I thought it would be a good refresher. So as part of our Easter meal, I had a whole turkey breast. All right. So I ended up taking it, putting it in a freezer bag, and I froze what was left of the carcass. All right. And I actually have another one in here from before too that I had with a whole chicken. So I'm going to put both of the carcasses in there and start to fill this up with water. Okay. Good. So now it's filling up with water, and while it's doing that, I'm going to show you the next part. So to make the broth, now you can buy broth, but once again, if you're able to make it yourself and take the carcass of the meat, you'll end up saving money when you guys are living on your own. So you can have a whole chicken one night, you know, and if you're living by yourself, you could probably take a small whole chicken, have half one night, half the other, and then have the carcass for soup for the next few days. So the vegetables that I put in mine to make the broth are celery, carrots, and onion. So the top of the celery, most of us don't eat. And that's what I use to help make the broth. The leaves have a lot of flavor, so they're going to be added to the pot. So I'm just going to wait for this to fill up. And what I'm looking for is for it to cover about an inch higher than where the carcasses go. So we're getting pretty close to that part now. All right, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it on the burner here. Obviously, remember, it's the bigger burner. We have a big pot. Now this soup will last my family and I at least 2 meals and probably a lunch or two for my wife and myself here. So here are the tops of the celery. Obviously, I'm going to wash them. All right. Actually, if I thought a little better of it, I would have left the pot there. So I have that in there. Now the carrots, eventually celery and carrots are going to be chopped up, and we'll get that to the second half of the lesson here. But right now I am going to bring this pot over so I'm not dripping on across the counter again. And once again, I'm just rinsing them off to make sure the dirt is off. Oh, and here's actually a little spot here. Now the carrots are clean. I'm just going to break it in half and throw that in, and break it in half and throw that in. And then the onion. All right, so once again, I'm going to wash the outer skin because I'm using this for the flavor. If there's any loose pieces, I'll take them, I'll throw it out. And now when I cut the onion, I want to leave the ends on because you'll see later when I take it out, it'll be easier to take it out. And I'm just going to make one cut through, and then that goes in. All right, and now I can put it on and start at heat. Remember, we're boiling it, so we're going to go to boil, and once it gets to a boil, I'm going to end up turning it down to about medium to medium high, 6 or 7, and it's going to simmer for another 45 minutes so the flavor permeates through. Now for my vegetarian friends, you know, we have a couple here at Next Step. What you can do is you can add the celery, the carrots, the onion, but then you can add some herbs. Now I like oregano in my soup, so I'm going to use the dry oregano, but if you're making a vegetable broth, you probably want to get some fresh oregano, some fresh parsley, a couple of herbs like that. So I'm going to put a bunch of oregano in. Now this is a big pot, so I'm going to use a lot of oregano. And then you don't want to overdo it with the salt, but we're going to add some salt. And then I like fresh ground pepper. You can use it already crushed, so don't feel like you have to, but I think it just adds a little bit of flavor, a little better for the fresh ground, so I'm going to do that and add that to the soup. It does take a little bit. All right. And then that's enough. It's better to under-season than over-season. You can always add more seasoning once the soup is made. After you taste it, you can add a little more salt, a little more pepper, even a little more oregano. But once it's in there, it's very, very difficult, really impossible to take it out. So I'm just going to quickly grab my trusty wooden spoon here. Here is the one I like. And just give it one quick stir. Kind of mix everything up. And then this is going to come to a boil, like I said. And then I'm going to turn it down to like medium and let it cook for another 45 minutes. So what's going to happen now is my camera person is going to end up stopping it in a second, and then I'm going to restart it. So if I can figure out how to blend the videos together, it'll be one long video. Otherwise, it'll be two-part videos of this. So I guess I'll see you in an hour. You'll see me momentarily. Thank you.